Hello my friends, Buck Weezer. This is Buck's Small Engine DIY on YouTube, and I have here beside me this Husqvarna all-wheel drive lawnmower featuring a Briggs & Stratton engine, and it belongs to a guy named Randy. From the looks of it, he works this thing pretty hard, and he told me while he was cutting some brush, some pretty thick grass, he hit inadvertently, he hit a stick or a log or something, and it got wedged under the cutting deck, and of course the engine came to an abrupt stop and it will not restart. And I thought maybe you could join me to try and work through this and resolve it and get it back running again. I got an idea of what might be going on. Do you? You interested? Then stay tuned. Alright, so here's a closer look, and it is kind of dirty and pretty beat up. So it's getting some pretty good use over the years. And what I'm thinking might be the problem here with this Briggs & Stratton engine is when you hit something hard like that, it disrupts the timing by, with that hard of a jolt, the flywheel gets misaligned. And the keyway pin, which is soft aluminum, it's designed to shear off in that case and protect the engine. But I think what I want to do is I want to see what exactly does happen when we pull the rope. Does it start? When something like this happens and the timing gets thrown off, sometimes another thing that can occur is like you pull the rope and it might yank the rope out of your hand kind of violently, and it's kind of scary and can be painful. But I want to see if it does start, and don't expect that it will. Let's just see what happens to verify the owner's complaint. And then the first thing we'll do, if it's not working, we're gonna take a look at that flywheel keyway pin and see if it's aligned properly, because that's my first and best guess. Alright, let's just see what happens, if anything. I feel it's got the normal compression. You can feel the resistance as you pull the rope back. So that's okay. So it definitely does not start. Let's pop this cover off. Take a look inside. Alright, we removed this top plastic cover. There's two screws, one here and one here. This one's missing, none there, so it's just one here. This is a Phillips head screw, and it just goes into soft plastic, so it's not hard to remove. And then this should come right off. And I'm going to try not to lose that screw. Okay. Alright. Fabulous. What's next? We got to remove this gas tank, and there are 1, 2, 3. The third one's missing. They look like 8mm 5/16 screws, so they got to come out next. Let's do that. Alright. Magnet sometimes helps. At this point, you can kind of just bend this back. However, the fuel line might inhibit the full length of travel. But that's enough right there, I think, to I don't have to take it completely off. If we did, we'd have to unbolt one bolt down here and then disconnect the fuel line. We'll see if we need to do that. But we're going to take off the engine cover here. And there's a 5/16 or 8mm holding on the dipstick tube. We got to take that guy off.
right? And I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to leave the dipstick in there. I'm just going to sort of turn it so it's out of the way. Now we have, I'll make sure you can see this on the camera. We got 4 bolts to remove that are holding this cover down. 1, 2, it might be 3/8. And then back here, 1 down there, 2 down there. So those have to come off next, and that will take the engine cover off, complete with the recoil assembly. It will be able to move that out of the way. So let me find, is it indeed 3/8? Yes, I think it is, for all of them. And I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. Alright, come on. Breaking them loose just to begin with. 1. Get our battery. 1. And 2. And then the 2 in the back. Dropped it. 1. And 2. And that's that. So even with this gas tank here, you should be able to get this off and just move it out of the way. Alright, so now we have access to the flywheel on the top, and I can't tell exactly looking down in there if it's misaligned. It might be just based on the paint, outline of the paint, but I'm going to have to take that nut off. So let me find the, removing this nut will probably give us all we need to see. So let me find the right size socket for that. It's a 15/16 of an inch socket. Maybe will this little impact be able to get it off? Yeah, no problem. All right. The nut comes off. That comes off. And our suspicions are now confirmed. And I'm going to zoom you in so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. The flywheel key is indeed misaligned. And I'm going to point that out to you. The key is sheared, so here's the keyway, this groove, and it should be lined up with the pin right here. So it's off by, I don't know, 12 or 15 degrees, and so the timing is thrown off. And you can see that this pin is designed to shear away in the event of a shock, an abrupt shock like that. And so it's not going to run, because now I'll back up so you can see what I want to explain. The magnets are built into this flywheel, and they must go past the ignition coil right here at the precisely correct moment. But since this is no longer lined up correctly, the magnets in the flywheel are going past that, past the ignition coil at the wrong moment, and actually, because of the way it is now, they're going past that too soon, so spark is being given to the combustion chamber prematurely, and it has to go in at the right moment, folks. Timing is super important. So we got to pull this flywheel, got a new pin, we'll realign it, we'll torque it down. Oh look, I just found one of those missing bolts. What was this for? Holding down the gas tank, I guess. All right, so I'm going to take that flywheel off and we're going to get this thing aligned properly. And this guy will be happy again because it'll start. I guess I should do some cleanup while I have this open because it's really dirty in there. I like cleaning things as I go. All right, so we're going to remove this flywheel. It says use wheel puller to remove. And it's got these threaded holes. That I probably have that puller somewhere. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to use that method. I'm going to put the nut back on. Just like that, so it's flush with the top. I'll use a big hammer, bang onto there. While at the same time, I'm going to use this big screwdriver to pry upward. And that should do it. And it's an okay method to use. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm prying up with the screwdriver. And there we go, it broke loose. So now you can take off the nut. The flywheel comes right up. And the broken remnants of the aluminum soft metal keyway pin fall out. There we go. Again, I have the opportunity to clean off some of this dirt, and I'm going to do that. I think that's always a good idea, to clean as you go, and then we'll be ready to install this flywheel again after a few minutes of cleanup. All right, it cleaned up pretty easily. Not greasy dirt, it's just accumulated dust. And so we got that cleaned off okay. And now we're going to install this flywheel again. So here's the new keyway pin, and it's just soft aluminum. And I'm just going to put it in there, and I'm going to drop the flywheel on top of that, if that works. It's not the pin's job to hold the flywheel in place. It's just there for us to easily get it aligned when installing the flywheel. And it's designed to shear off in the event you have hit something hard like that. It's the tapered shaft and the downward pressure of the nut holding it onto the shaft that keeps it in place. So let's see if this will go on all right. I'm going to take this out, put this guy on, and then see about getting this in there. So let me just get a little punch to tap that down a bit. Go. There, that's in place. And now we can tighten it down. That soft aluminum keyway pin will keep it properly aligned while we get this bolted down. And I'm going to use my small impact to put it down. Oh, look at that. I broke it. I broke the, what do you call it? The adapter thing. Alright, that's no big deal. They're easy to come by. I've used this thing a lot. So, doesn't owe me much. Guess it can only handle so much torque. I probably got it from Harbor Freight Tools, so it might not have been that strong to begin with. But, whatever. think we probably have it on tight enough. Okay, we'll put it all back together, and I'll bet this thing's going to be excited to run again. Well, the mower's all put back together, and I didn't really show you any of that because it's simply the reverse of what we did when we were taking it apart. And the flywheel keyway was the most important part anyway, so that's what I wanted you to see. I think we should give this a try and see if it wants to start now. The chances are a lot greater that it will. I mean, there could be other problems, I don't know. Looks like the owner installed a new spark plug. That's usually everyone's first go-to when a mower won't start. It's worth a try, I guess, because it's easy enough to do, but that's not usually the issue. All right, enough talk. Let's see if it'll run. Stop right there since we're inside the garage. It does start, first pull. Doesn't sound great to me, and maybe I will do a little further maintenance to get it running a little better since it's here, but the main issue is resolved, and that's a happy thing, isn't it? And that's it. You know, they talk about 3 essentials for any engine to run: fuel, spark, compression. You know, we had all those, but it still wouldn't run because we were missing the 4th essential element, and that's timing. And you hit something hard like that, might throw your timing off, and it will not run unless the timing is right. So there's really 4 essentials, and that one was easy to fix. Our initial hunch was correct, and so if you've got one of, I really like these Briggs Quantum engines. This one's from 2014. They're just bulletproof and they run so well. They're easy to work on and easy to fix. And that is provided you've got the automatic choke. And this has the air vane choke. That works fabulously. If you have the kind with the primer bulb, that primer bulb is notorious for never working. But if you got it like this with the air vane choke or the automatic choke system, you're gold. These are just great, great motors. All right, that's it. It's hot today, but this one's done and we can get it back to its owner so we can go plowing through the brush again with his all-wheel drive. So if you've hit something hard, your mower won't start. Hopefully this has helped you realize what you need to do to get it back up and running again. And we're done. So thank you for watching. Your comments and questions are always appreciated in the discussion below the video. Love to hear from you with that. If you don't mind liking, subscribing if you haven't done so already. And I'll look forward to seeing you all on our next video. Remember, like I always say, it's only you that can put the do into do it yourself.